I'm Pamela. Hey, I'm Anna. Hey, I'm Sarah. And this is our inquiry lesson.
Hey there, welcome to Ms. Waltman's second grade science class. Today we're doing an activity on mysterious M&Ms. The standard that goes with this is S2P1, obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the property of matter and its changes that occur in objects. S2P1A, ask questions and classify different objects according to their physical properties. Clarification statement. Examples of physical properties could include color, mass, length, texture, hardness, strength, absorbency, and flexibility. The type of science that we're doing today is physical science.
Hi Pam, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, so during our physical science lessons this week, we have been discussing what happens to things when they're put in water. They do what? They dissolve.
Mm-hmm.
Good, very good. So yesterday we did an experiment about ice and how that dissolves, and it dissolves in a certain way because of its what? Properties, its characteristic properties.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. So now today we're going to focus on some properties of another kind of object. But first, I want to show you a funny video because it talks about the object that we're going to use today. All right?
This is the movie you've all been waiting for.
This is your mission. No, this is an envelope.
That's actually not a movie,
I don't know anything.
You think I'm an idiot?
but really just a commercial reminding people to eat M&Ms.
Wait, what? This is just a commercial? Can someone shut off the...
Isn't that funny? So what kind of materials do you think we're going to be using today? M&Ms. Very good. We're going to be doing an experiment that works with M&Ms called Mysterious M&Ms. Okay, so we're going to be discovering some mysterious characteristics about M&Ms. So first, in order to get into our experiment, I want you to read this introductory story for me. Okay?
Sometimes you can learn a lot about something by looking at it very closely or in ways you haven't looked at it before. You may even discover things kind of by accident. This is what happened to me the other day when I was eating some M&Ms and drinking a cup of water. I was almost done when one of my M&Ms fell into the water that was left in my cup. I didn't care too much because I could eat that one even though it was wet. I decided to eat it, but when I began to reach into the cup to take it out, I was kind of surprised by what I saw. There was an area of color in the water around the M&M, which I guess had dissolved into the water. As I watched it, the color slowly spread in the water, making the area of color bigger. This was pretty interesting and something I had never seen before. I thought I could see it better in something wider. So I got a little plate, put some water in it, and put a different color M&M in it to see what would happen. It was very similar to the first one I saw. I was starting to run out of my M&Ms, but had some other ideas I wanted to try when I got some more.
Okay, very good. So today we're going to be recreating a situation just like the one that you read. So first, before we get into that, before we start our experiment, I want you to jot down some things that you notice about this M&M. You can touch it, you can turn it over, you can see how heavy it is, but I would not like you to eat it. These M&Ms are not for eating, they're just for the experiment, okay? So take a few minutes and look at the M&M, jot down some things about it that you notice, okay? Okay, very good. So what are some things that you noticed about the M&M?
So it's blue, which is my favorite color,
Awesome.
and it's also smooth on the outside,
Okay,
but kind of sticky.
Okay, it's smooth on the outside. Did you write anything about the weight of the M&M? Is it
No.
heavy?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Is it heavier than like a penny?
No.
No, so it's lighter than a penny?
Mhm.
Okay, very good. So now that you've talked about the outside of the M&M, I want you to actually break open the M&M and look at the inside and see what you can discover about that.
Okay.
Do you need some help? You got
I
it?
got it.
Okay, good. Okay, so after you look at the inside, touch the inside, you can even draw a picture of what you see. You can write some things down. Remember to use those scientific language words, okay, that we've been talking about. So take a few minutes and write your thoughts on your paper. Okay, very good. So what did you notice about the inside of the M&M?
It's brown and
Okay.
rough.
It's brown and rough. Did you notice some differences between the inside and the outside?
It's different from the outside. The outside was smooth.
Okay, so do you think that because of the different properties that the inside and the outside has, do you think it would react to different variables in a different way? Okay, why do you think that?
Because the outside probably doesn't react the same as the inside.
The inside, because it has different what?
Property.
Properties. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to test today. Okay, so to begin, I want you to first put on the goggles, because safety is the most important thing in our science experiment, right? So to be a good scientist, you have to be very safe. Okay, now I've placed some water in this bowl, and what I want you to do is drop the M&M in the bowl
Okay.
and observe it for just a few seconds to see what's going to happen to it.
Wow.
All right, what do you see happening in here?
Just like a green bubble around it.
Like a green bubble around it,
Or a
okay?
cloud.
Like a cloud.
It took a second.
It
but
took a second.
Yeah, you could see it start though.
You can see it start, okay. So is the water just turning green randomly? Is there something impacting?
It's coming off the M&M.
It's coming off the M&M. Interesting, okay. So now we're gonna begin our experiment.
Okay.
So what I would like you to do is take this foam plate. You can move your papers over here. And I would like you to pour some water on the base of the plate. Don't overflow it, don't get it on the table, just on the base of the plate.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And now we're going to place an M&M in the water and we're going to watch it for a whole minute.
Okay.
Okay, now what color M&M would you like to do? You can pick any color.
Can we get blue?
Blue, of course we can. Okay, so now that the water has settled, okay, and it's very important not to bump the table because that's a property that affects the dissolving of the color, okay? So let's do this blue M&M. I want you to just place it in the middle of the plate. Okay, and I'm gonna set my timer and just observe it for a minute or so. It's doing it. All right, so we're done with that. All right, now I don't want you to just tell me what you see. I want you to write what you see, okay? I want you to draw what you see so that if you had to tell someone about this, they would know exactly what happened. I'm gonna go get you some crayons so you can also color what you see.
Okay.
And I have our scientific language on the board.
Ooh.
And it has our amounts by it. And remember, we're trying to get to treasure box at the end of the week, right? So we want to use a lot of those words in our discussion, okay? Okay, very good. I really love all of the things that you wrote in your discussion and how you investigated what was happening. It was very, very good. So thank you for working extra hard today. Okay, so to close out our experiment, what do you think, like what variables do you think had an impact in this experiment about the M&M itself?
Maybe the type of liquid, because we used water.
We used water. What was the temperature of the water?
Room temperature.
Room temperature. So maybe using hot water would change it, maybe using cold water would change it. And then we only used one M&M. Maybe if we used like a whole bag, that would, change things, right? So tomorrow what we're gonna do is test these variables that you had questions about, and then we're gonna be able to predict new things about its variables and all of that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so thank you so much. You did awesome, high five. Woo!